This is Jonathan St. James, and you're listening to The Truth is Still Straight podcast.
All right, folks, for those of you who want to see the rest of Kevin Samuels' reaction, and that was talking to Ashley Rosier, and then we'll have one more caller that he spoke to, and the name of that episode is What Comes Next. This is part 2, and I wanted to give people the opportunity who wanted to see more of it to tune in, and those who were finished watching it to tune out. But here we are with part 2, and we'll do one more call after this because there's about 3 or 4 of them, and it takes so much time, and rather than have a really long video, try to shorten things up, and you guys can watch certain portions of the video. But I really wanted to finish Ashley's conversation because after we stopped the last episode, I heard her. She's had some interesting things to say. So I wanted to get it from a portion where people could pick up from where we left off, and then we can continue talking about this situation here. All right, here's Ashley again. Ashley, are you there? Oh, gotta unmute it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I got sick, to be honest. I got sick, and I wasn't ready for a relationship.
You ended a 2-year relationship because of an illness?
I did.
He didn't want it to end.
Yeah.
Was it a life-threatening illness?
It was.
I mean, I'm a cancer survivor, so.
I'm not trying to cry.
My point is, in relationships, okay, you don't end relationships. You ladies just jump in and out of relationships. Then when you're at this point, it's like, well, you got to look at your past history.
Yeah.
And your relationships, you end them.
Well, he wasn't ready. He couldn't take on the toll that I was dealing with. So.
All right. So what this caller showed, more than anything else, is even average women who've never experienced this stuff, who have no business, business really having such high standards. You got this list of things that you're not.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said.
You expect a man to settle for you when you wouldn't settle for somebody else. There are plenty of
I just wanted to say something right off the back because it's interesting how there's never any accountability for her. So I don't know if you noticed, she started off saying the reason why she ended the previous relationship was because she was sick. But here's the thing. After that, she says now she put the blame on him, saying that he couldn't deal with the situation. He couldn't deal with her being sick. So it's the minute that the accountability falls within the face that she sees in the mirror, then it becomes someone else's fault that the relationship didn't work. So she says she had an issue because she was sick, but then she said he was the one that had the problem because she was sick, which is interesting. This Ashley, let me tell you guys out there, not that I'm have any influence on anyone, but in the grand scheme of things, there's some real eye openers about her, and I would definitely keep the alert on. Keep that alert because she got something real going on with her that I don't think she can deal with on her own, and she may need some therapy. All right, Ashley, let's see what else you're going to say next.
Now, there are 54% of black men are single and childless, and 61% in the middle class. There are plenty of single black men in this country, especially here. So if you can't find a single black man who's average, you ain't looking outside.
Mm-hmm.
So you say you can't find the right one, you can't find a fantasy is what you can't
That's
find.
true. Oh, yes. Yes. That is. Hold on right there. Hold on. And here's the thing, and this is the problem, and I'm going to tell you, this is the number one problem when women can't get into relationships. One, they expect the man they want to find them. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. First and foremost, in order for you to even meet someone, you have to be available. You have to be emotionally available and readily and physically available to interact with a man. If you expect someone to come choose you, I'm going to tell you, your odds are so poor that you're going to find someone you really want to be with, because usually the guys that seek you out are the guys you don't want. I'm going to tell
That's
you.
right.
And you have to be available to a man, a man of good repute. You know, somebody who's has integrity and quality. That guy's going to meet you on the level. He's not going to chase that. Why should he chase after you? He's not in high school. The guy's is trying to make the best life for him. So if you want him to be with you, guess what? You got to let him know you want to be with him, because he's not going to chase after you. He has no need to. He can find many women in the street and many women in other countries if he's earning like that. Even if he's not, even average guys, you know.
Yeah, they'll go somewhere else. Yep. They will go somewhere else.
Got to figure that one out, ladies.
Are looking for men who outrank them. And this is why y'all ending up by yourself, because you're not looking for men that are on your level.
Mm-hmm.
So I look like an asshole for saying this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
I just don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like you said, I haven't even tried to go out and look for nobody. So that's on me.
That's what I said, right?
Yep. That's exactly what you said.
Cool.
She's not available.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not available.
It's
At
my
30
fault.
years old, at 30 years old, like it or not, at 30 years old, either you get your butt in gear, get your standards in line with who you are, understand that an average man will be a great catch for you, and he would actually be saving your life, because
Right.
the next questions aren't going to be even worse. When you get to age 65, retirement, are you going to have your $2.4 million saved up cash?
Okay,
I'm
so now
not.
that's what I'm gonna, because that's not a typical conversation. I'm gonna end that portion there, and I'm gonna fast forward to the next one. Get to the next caller. Let's see. Okay, the next caller is Denise. No, I'm gonna go past Denise because there's too many. I'm gonna go to Jade. Jade comes after that. Let's see what Jade has to say.
Jade?
There you go.
Now does that make sense? Is it starting to click now? Hello, how are you, Jade?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well. How old are you?
I'm 24.
24. A little bit young for this, but let's go.
Yeah.
What, you have a question? What's the question?
I do have a question. I grew up in a traditional house, not a very traditional household. My mom was actually the breadwinner in my house, but I always saw her respect my dad. And so, coming from someone who does want to be married in the coming future, very soon, what would you say to somebody who has seen a good marriage work and wants that for themselves, but is having a hard time finding someone to really respect their morals and their values?
What does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just having a hard time because I
respect your morals and your values. What, are you a virgin?
No.
What does that mean? Respect your morals and values. What does that mean?
Just that my belief is that sex is not the only important thing in a relationship. I understand
you're not a man. Are you a Christian?
Okay. So this is going well. I just want to say I like her kitchen. Looks very nice.
It does actually. It does look nice actually.
Now you see, I wanted to point this out. So when we talked about Ashley before, if you see, Ashley's hair was not like Jade's hair. Jade's hair is more of a natural look.
That's not. Yes, that is natural. You're
Right.
all right.
That's how women's hair look, whether
Yeah.
they've permed it or whatever. That's how it looks usually day in and day out. That's how it usually looks, like that. And she's cute. I mean, there's nothing wrong
Mhm.
with her. And I don't want to say that Ashley wasn't cute.
No.
Just Ashley, she didn't accentuate herself in a way that made her look attractive. But I didn't even like that hairstyle that she had. I mean, to be honest, she looked, I don't know, looked like a cartoon character, I think. But yeah, so I just thought this was interesting. Let's see what I do remember seeing this video. So I do know something about it. Not entirely, because like I said, I was in and out of sleep when I was listening to it the first time. So let's see what she has to say.
I am.
Do you want to wait till marriage to have sex?
She's a Christian.
No.
Okay. Well,
Don't want to wait.
I'm gonna just tell you bottom line.
She's horny.
This whole morality thing, okay, fine, but men want to have sex. It's just
No, I understand. Oh.
so but that doesn't mean that's the only thing they want. But men want to have sex. Often, see, in our community, we tend to try to use things to leverage that you really shouldn't. Like when I was a young man, black women used to say, I don't give head. I don't do that. I'm like, that's not something to hold out on. And then they are like, you only want to go to a white woman because she give head. Like, yeah. But
Get in when you fit in, man.
So how do you get somebody to respect your morals? Well, if your morals are that important, then you need to find men who are equally on your footing as far as morals. Go through your church.
Yeah, so that's something that I really wanted to comment on, and I think this is an issue that women have, is finding men. It's not ladies, you overcomplicate things. It's not very hard finding a man. The problem with you finding a man is you're looking for a fantasy man, and that's where the problem happens. Not, I don't know what women find attractive in this day and age. The Hollywood actors are not as prevalent as they used to be, like the Shamar Moores or Denzel Washington, the Morris Chestnuts, those type of guys. I don't know who's out there that's the latest craze, but for lack of a better candidate, let's just say a Shamar Moore kind of guy. Every woman, or a lot of women are looking for that kind of guy. Very handsome, nice body, this and that. And they gloss over only those men and pass over everyone between. So from average man to high level man, every average man gets looked past for that high, very attractive, very successful man. And that's the problem, because once again, all of the women are looking for that kind of man. And and so therefore it goes to the whole lottery thing, or the numbers. So your chances of winning, you may get a couple of, you might get the Powerball number, but very seldom you get the jackpot. And we see that. How many of these women, they'll even say, "Oh, I was with a high value man." And let's be honest, the secret, ladies, to men is, if men really want to be with you, they'll do what it takes to be with you if they want it. And if they don't, they'll let you make the decision to move on.
And they won't feel bad about it.
Right. And the only thing men require when you break up with them is, if they want it, is access to sex when you're free. I'm going to be honest. The truth is, don't mistake emotional, don't mistake sexual attraction for emotional attraction. Most men that are sexually attracted to women are not emotionally attracted to them, and they don't want the relationship, but they want the sex. So they'll do whatever they have to do to keep you in the roster to have sex with you, without having to commit and be in a relationship with you, if they can attain that. I've seen it so many times. Ladies out there in the world, you should know better than I do. Those of you who are sexually active, how many men have you been in a relationship with that you were really attracted to, like having sex with them, then you broke up and they came around every once in a while, had sex with you, and then went back to whatever they were doing and then came back? How many times that happened? I can, blast off of names right off the top of my head, or women who go through that right now. But of course, I will protect the innocent.
But if you're out in the world dating, you're going to get worldly people.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. Number
Yep.
two, how tall are you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 5'6".
Dress size?
5'8".
How much
You're
did you weigh
thick.
last time you weighed yourself?
You're a little thicky there.
155 pounds.
Thicky.
Okay. Um,
Some guy will take her. Some guy will definitely like take her.
you got to give yourself 30 to 50 pounds to grow with baby weight, in my opinion. Is your father alive?
Yes.
All right. How many siblings do you have?
I have an older brother, and that's it.
Is he married?
He is not.
Okay. How much older?
2. He's only 26.
Okay. Have you talked to your father about dating?
I have. His main thing, my dad is a pastor, so he always says, "Fine." Yeah.
God.
My dad is a pastor.
Oh Lord, Kevin hit the nail on the head.
Uncles and dads and grandfathers being pastors, so.
Isn't it amazing, all these pastor men, but they can't seem to find no churched up men for you to be with?
Mm-hmm.
Because men have left the church.
Yeah, because they
Mm-hmm.
don't do well with that prosperity business.
Nope.
That's I'm not gonna really dog out church, but a lot of churches telling people they could be rich, and the whole idea is getting them tithes and offerings, and the only people who really get down with that is the ladies. They down with that, and I don't disagree with tithes and offerings and stuff like that, but that can't be the only focus on church finance, money. You can be rich and this and that, and you watch people say it all the time. And men have lost the interest in church. It's very difficult. I've visited a lot of churches, and I found one some years ago. I enjoyed it, but unfortunately the pastor left the church. The church didn't support the pastor. He was a great man. He wasn't in it for the money, and he wasn't telling people, come to church to get rich. He was telling them the truth. And that wasn't enough for them, unfortunately. Anyway, that's not what this show is about. Let me not get into that. Okay.
So you got a dilly of a pickle. Your father doesn't sound like he's helping you one little bit. Who do you talk to about relationships in your family?
My mom. I talk to her a lot about it. She's
your
more
mom,
open.
Your mom had been married how long?
27 years.
27 years.
Cool. Oh, longer than you've been on this planet. When was your last relationship?
It was 4 years ago.
How long did that last?
In her 20s.
It lasted 2 years.
So that was 20 to 22.
So
no, 18 to 20.
So 18 to 20. 18 to 20. Yeah, high school, college, transition.
There are a lot of things going on here, man. I don't know why you young ladies don't date. And it's like, I'm going to speak past you. You ladies.
What happened there?
These women today act like you can order a man up like a pizza.
Well, the truth of the matter is, let me just stop it there. And the problem why women have such difficulty in relationship, because sex comes faster than the relationship does. And once you've committed to having sex with someone, why should they get in a relationship with you? Unfortunately, guys don't see the purpose. If they can get sex for free, why pay for it? Why commit? Why
work for
date?
it? Yeah.
And that's the problem, because people are not dating anymore. It's like, hey, I like you. I'll come over to my house, have sex. Then what do you do after that? What do you do after that? If you really value the sex and the the physical relationship with that person, you may take them out on dates. But if you taking them out of dates is not a requirement, then you do what's required of you, which is just have more sex and just Netflix and chill, as they say. And that's pretty much it. So if you're requiring a relationship from someone, I'm not telling people what to do with their life, but having sex with someone right away is probably not the way to go. And it usually doesn't end well.
You can order a man like a pizza. And here's the thing: if the man who you wanted came by, will he want you? So, because you have a mother and father, I would say y'all need to sit down and figure this out. Because if you want somebody to respect your morals, I get it. I'm not a big fan of having women get out here and ride the carousel, but you got to engage in an environment where there are single people who want what you want. How many children would you like to have after when you're married?
Between 3 and 4.
3 and 4. And do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant with the first child?
I would, yeah, I wouldn't mind at all, actually.
All right. What percentage of the overall family financial load do you want to have to?
This is where I differ with Kevin in terms of relationships. This whole thing that the paying significant bills and this during pregnancy. I mean, if you want a high value man, I can see where that points in. But if you're looking for everyday, let me tell you something. Right. It doesn't really matter. It only matters if you're looking for a high wage earner, somebody who's financially sound or wealthy. But people have been doing this for decades, even poor people. If there's a will, there's a way. You find how to live within your means. Sometimes they're not the best circumstances, but to tell you the truth, I grew up in a household with 11 people, and we weren't rich. We had one bathroom to share between 11 people, but it wasn't a horrible situation. I mean, what ended up in those situations was horrible down the road, but the actual lifestyle when everything was good, we ate, like I said, at some point things got bad, but that was because of the choice of the parents. It wasn't the choice of the children.
Right.
So when you talk about situations like that, if people are taking care of their responsibilities, things work out. And kids don't mind. Kids only mind when they see themselves lacking. And then like I said, circumstances, food, place to live, clothing, you have those things. The money doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Right. Money doesn't equate happiness. It just buys you the things that gives you peace sometimes. And
yes,
I don't want to beat somebody up that doesn't want a high value guy. And I think that's really Kevin's message. It's not really for you to be looking for this high value guy, but to understand what it takes to be with an everyday guy. And sometimes it's just to show them the foolish thoughts that they have in seeking that kind of guy. And I really think that's what it's all about. But he just takes a little while to get there. He takes the scenic route to show them how to be respectful and open to being with everyday guys. Because
I think sometimes for some women that comes on show, I think they need the scenic route.
Yeah, no, of course they need the scenic. Well, I'm going to say some do. I don't think this one particularly does.
She don't. Yeah,
but the one before her needed the scenic route.
The scenic, yes,
it took her a while, and you see, we had to do a part 2 because it was just so long. So, anyway, let's see what else. Jade, I like Jade. Jade seems to be listening more than Ashley was. Ashley listened at the end, but let's see.
I would say between 40 and 50%.
That's a very high amount. Okay. Fine. So how many? 4 and 5? So how much money is it going to require to have a family of 6 to 7? How much was your family household income?
Yearly, annually?
Mm-hmm.
I would say no less than about $350,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So
that's the bare minimum.
And what did you go to school for?
I'm currently in law school.
Why do you, Kevin? Don't get on her, please.
Law.
Entertainment law.
So you plan on being a full-time attorney and a mother of 4 or 5?
I plan on what I really want to do because I'm going to graduate next year when I'm 25. I plan on working.
Something wrong with this. I think it's my internet here. I think it's frozen. I don't know what's going on there. Hating. I don't know what's going on there. It's really frozen.
Oh, sure.
Finding someone, and then I do plan on cutting back, and I do want to open my own practice, very small practice.
You want to be a working
There it is again. I don't know what's going on here.
attorney, mother of 4 or 5.
Yes.
Because I don't care how it comes out, you want to be responsible for at least $175,000 a year.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was a question. I would be okay with that.
Right. So that means that no one gives 100. So my point is, a family of that size, do you care if your man is black or not?
I don't personally.
Is your father black?
He is. He's African.
Okay. And the men tend to be more racially loyal the higher up they go. What percentage of men in this country earn 100?
10 to is not necessarily actual. There's plenty of men out there that's willing to date different race, interracial, biracial, children, multiracial women. Again, it's how you make yourself available. So that's the main factor that Kevin forgets about, is that he never mentions that most of the times is the way you make yourself available to men. And you can find white guys or Asian guys that'll be interested in you. Clearly, I don't know what kind of African your father is, or I don't know what your mother's background is, but clearly, I know women all the day, especially, not to put colorism into it, especially when women are fair skinned. A lot of women I know that are fair skinned, black, they find white men, women in general, it's not very hard for women to find a man. I know plenty of black women, to be honest, plenty that have white husbands, or very successful guys too. Not, sometimes they had a few frogs before they got the prince, but it's possible. You just have to be available. You have to put yourself out there, network, and you just got to go around, meet the right guy. I mean, entertainment, I don't know where she's going to find that in that area, but maybe in the law arena, maybe in the law network. I don't know about the entertainment. I think that's a problem going into entertainment law, because what is your husband going to do? And what will be the quality of the people you represent? And I find a lot of times the main drawback that women have when they're in relationships is receiving attention from other men. And sometimes that is the distraction when it comes to relationships, that women get distracted by other male attention outside of their husbands or boyfriends or whatever we're going to talk about. I've seen it over and over again, especially if the husband is not paying them the right amount of attention. Okay, let's see if this starts back working. I don't know what's going on with this internet today.
$75,000 or more.
I would say maybe 6 to 7%.
Right. Around the 5% range.
I think she's Asian.
So look at the logic puzzle you got.
What do you think?
I want 4 to 5 kids. I'm going to be an entertainment lawyer, but I want to be an entertainment lawyer with a private practice. That's the most ideal situation possible.
A successful private.
None of y'all wants to just work like a worker bee. Y'all want to be bosses. Own my own law firm, and then have 4 to 5 well-adjusted middle-class kids and a top 5% husband.
Mm-hmm.
Papa John's, Domino's, Pizza Hut could not make this order. But y'all never start from that. You don't start from that. You don't start backwards and say, I want a man that's in the top 5% of earners. Is your father in that tax bracket?
He's not.
Yeah. I guess the sad part is so many of our women who are just like right around the average to cute range, y'all have such high y'all have such high expectations. Just outrageous. All of you want men who are high six figure earners.
And attractive.
And y'all want them for various different reasons.
And
but
attractive.
If I threw all you guys in one group and say, what are y'all, here's the thing. Every woman that's been on this show tonight and this week, all kind of want men in the same range, right? Right? So let's say there were 30 of you. And then I put 3 men in the room. You'd have to compete with those 30 women for those 3 guys. Why should one of those 3 men pick you over the other 29 women?
I mean,
that's what y'all got to figure out. That's what y'all got to figure out. That's what y'all got to figure out. That's the attitude you got to come to the market with. Because y'all come to the market like, well, where do I find the perfect man? Where do I find this guy? Where do I find that guy? What? No, you have to be what he wants.
Thank you.
That's why this show is so good, because you hear women say you want the men. All the same kind of men, roughly. The women sitting up on top of you, all your competition. Why if I was the man, why should I pick you over any one of them?
Thank you. That's it.
What did any of y'all show? And that's just black women. What about the non-black women who want it? Because you know non-black women so coming after men who are making in the top 5%, right?
That's right. And they do a better job getting them.
You know, I have moral shit. I guess what I'm ultimately trying to get is I don't see a competitive spark in black women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they think men are supposed to.
And it comes in various different ways. Some are more boisterous.
Right.
Some are a little bit more laid back. But the actual outcome, when the questions are asked, it's all in, how do I get what I want?
Yeah, because they think men are supposed to find them. That's what it is.
Yes.
And I just want to give her a round of applause because she doesn't have her phone shaking like that other lady did.
Yeah, she got me the non-black woman.
kudos to Jade for having her phone
woman.
settled down. I appreciate it. And I want to say she could be Asian and African.
I want to put it, yeah. She could be.
Because I'm just going by the name Jade, and then she has some features that resemble Asians. So, I mean, anything's possible.
Even if that's not her real name, that name is prevalent in somewhere. Because people use aliases, use a prevalent name, or it could be a middle name that they are easy to remember.
Yeah, but I like Jade because she's listening. So we'll see what happens with Jade. I don't agree with what Jade wants to do, but Jade, I like you so far.
So I'm going to ask you a question when I get to the next person. If that man does exist, and he does, what is he going to get with you that he can't get anywhere else?
Peace. It's amazing.
You're asking me, correct? I just want to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would say I mean, things he's getting from me that I feel like he can't get anywhere else is the quality of just being a listener, and also the quality of just, being a comforter. I understand how hard it is to go out and work every day. So just having someone to be there, a nice home cooked meal, something of that nature, or just if you want someone to listen, someone to chill with, someone to release your problems.
Oh my goodness.
Can you pause that?
It is
okay.
pause.
If women complain that men don't talk, what do you think we talk? We really don't talk.
Forget it. Forget all that. Hold on a second.
Oh, the deception, the betrayal, man. You deceived me.
Here's the thing. She said the same thing as the last woman. The exact same thing. Universal cooking playbook. And conversing. Listen, I don't doubt comfort is important, but men don't get that now. So I don't know if I was in a relationship where I got comfort, if it would make a difference to not getting comfort, if that makes sense to you.
Because it does make absolutely perfect sense.
You don't know that you're missing that. So for you to say you're offering it, a guy has to know that it's there. Like someone has to have given it to him to know that he's missing that for him to feel, oh, I need that comfort. Yes. And I've honestly, I can't say I've really experienced that where I could say it's a loss. Oh, I need that. I need a woman to comfort me. So I think that's where they're making a mistake. That's wonderful. But a man needs to know that he needs that. And good luck finding a man that needs to know that he needs comfort from a woman. Because not many men know that. And the guys who know that, yeah, I don't know if those are the kind of guys you want.
Guys you want, correct.
So that's the thing, because you're talking about some successful guy. I can guarantee you this guy ain't getting any comfort from anywhere, because if he was, he wouldn't need it from you because he'd have it already. So comfort is a great thing. Don't get me wrong. I guess I could use some comfort from a woman, but most guys don't get comfort. They don't. They get other things, but they don't get comfort. Comfort is just a rare thing that anyone gets in this day and age. Because but before you say something, when do you need comfort? When does that happen? Like, when do you need somebody to comfort you? So a parent dies, a relative dies, a friend dies, you get comfort. Like, so when does that fall into place where it matters to get comfort? All right, Jim, go ahead.
It's weird, like the so-called universal playbook. And this is what women use, women versus men. And the expectations and reality of using this called universal playbook. All throughout the years, men's universal playbook has been the same. It has not changed. It's basically the same thing that, is required. With women, it's like it's like fleeting. It's like, you want to use that same playbook, but your execution says something different. And to me, that's the problem. You are using the same playbook for execution that you are not interested in doing. Yeah. So that's a playbook. That's a playbook that she's using. And at the same time, she's using that playbook, she's calling an audible on her own playbook.
Well, here's what Jade is really saying right now. $100 to whoever can tell me what that is. Jade, I think you're cute, but you're making no sense.
And you can't use Charlie Brown to get the $100 either, people.
So like, that's what I'm there for. As my husband, as a wife, that's what I want to be to my husband. I want to be his peace. That's what I saw.
Same talking points.
And that was really what
how does that work if you're going to be a law
attorney, entertainment lawyer?
Attorneys put in a lot of hours.
Listen, men do like peace, but every woman seems to be offering peace. Have you ever noticed that? Every woman that comes on here talks about being his peace. But that's just a talking point, because if that was the case, why are you not wifed up now?
Basically, hours. Because they're the destructor.
Yeah, so I put on personal.
Can you pause it? Pause that part? I wanted you to say something. It's amazing how you say that when half these women end a relationship. That's not peace. That's the destructor. That is you being the destructor because you sabotage your own relationship.
Well, to her defense, she only had one relationship.
Oh, we know. I'm not even talking about her. I mean, I understand with her, but so she's done so. But like the woman before her, most of these women on that calls in on the show, they want to be at peace when you destroyed your relationship, your past relationships. You are the destructor. When are you gonna realize you can't be a man's peace when you're busy destroying?
Yeah. So let's see what else Jay has to say, because I see we kind of been running. I don't know how we ran so long. So
I know.
All right, Jay. Come on, Jay. Bring us home.
Life, like like the 190 that's selling my.
Still want, but it's still they don't give that money away. Is my point.
Mm-hmm.
You want the resources, but you don't want to put the. I get it. Many women decide to go to law because they think they can make a lot of money and do it their own way, but that's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
You got to work. So why not an average guy like your dad?
I wouldn't mind that. I personally,
okay. It would be better to look for it. Okay, most men are middle class, and the higher up you go, you're fine to go there, but you have to. I'm gonna be honest. The sales pitches I hear coming from women who want these men are pretty vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be his peace. He'll get a home cooked meal.
Talking points.
I mean, it's
all the same thing, man.
And submissive.
Playbook.
It's like you want to
when
get
they're not
Harvard or MIT, and you're using the same letter for every organization. You're not. I mean, if you were trying to get into, what does your church say, Howard?
Howard.
Yeah, I go to Howard Law.
Okay, right.
I guess she's in the DMV.
Did you get any letters of recommendation to go?
To go to law school? Yes, I did.
Okay, all right. You went, yeah. To get into law, and if you wanted to get into Harvard Law or Yale Law, would you need to get more? Would you need to do more? Okay. Then y'all understand this. But what most women are doing is, I graduated from high school, just accept me. Getting into Howard is one thing. Getting into Howard Law is something else. Getting into Yale or Harvard Law is something else. You guys want Yale and Harvard and MIT level men, but you want it on being just a general admission to college kind of benefits.
Yep.
That's the way your mindset needs to be. I need to be performing at a level and need to be looking at a level and as competitive as a level, because if you knew that you wanted to go to Yale Law School from the 6th grade, your entire junior high, high school, college career would be different. But because our women don't seem to start to want to worry about relationships until a little bit later on. Oh. Let's see what's going on. Power outage. What the French toast?
What happened with him? He having technical difficulties.
Yeah.
But anyway, hold on just a second.
All right, I'm gonna end it here because I don't think there's much more being said in this video. But I just wanted to make a comment and kind of close out here. I just wanted to read something to you, and because we can kind of talk about this. Ladies, I'm gonna honestly say to you, you need to start learning how to look at men from the inside out instead of the outside in. Because by the time you get to the inside of a man, it's already too late. So you got to look at the inside first and then work your way to the outside. And I'm going to read this because this is from a friend of mine. I've tried to reason with for many years, and I sort of just kind of left it alone. But here's the latest comment she's made about her life. Very beautiful woman, definitely beautiful, definitely an 8. Definitely an 8. So I won't reveal her name. I'll just reveal the story. And she says, I post the glamorous stuff, so why not share the not so glamorous? I'm not afraid of my truth. And the truth is I'm unraveling a bit. You can see the sadness in my eyes if you look beyond the surface. It's been there for years. Yesterday, I was told I was never in love with you. Talk about ouch. But imagine being told that while recovering from giving birth, still breastfeeding, juggling 2 jobs, etc. Anyone would be tempted to quit. But I'm not just anyone. The universe has always had my back. My family always had my back. My friends always come through, and no matter the circumstance, I always level up after a challenge. So this chapter gets treated like every other. It's time to rehabilitate, to recalibrate. I've been punched in the face plenty of times and kept fighting. No sympathy. It's all up from here, especially when you've hit an all-time low. So the point of this is, now here's the thing. She's a, she's a very successful wage earner. I'll give her that. But here's the thing. She's pretty rich, but poor in love. And the problem and the reason why she's poor in love is because she meets men and gets to know them from the outside in. And I saw this whole thing unfolding. And I was like, this guy, I see the guy. He's, there's a lot of guys here, women, who like to rob you of your youth. And what they'll do is they'll keep you around as long as you're young, and then they kind of toss you aside, and then they'll leave you with some prizes, impregnate you, give you children, and then they'll kind of run off and do whatever they want to do. And that's why it's important really to get to know a man from the inside out. Forget about how good he looks or how much money he has. Kevin Samuels talks about these things all the time. But the problem is, really, truly, you need to get to know somebody from the inside, what they're about. And you know what? It's really time. Okay. Relationship braces. Bringing hearts together. One heart at a time. So, Jim, you heard me post on this video what my friend experienced. You've heard the Kevin Samuels video, Jade and Ashley. What advice do you have to these 3 women who are in need? Jim.
Wow, that's a toughie. Their situations are different stages in their life. One has children, one's just starting life, one's in the middle of life. It's very hard. There's no one size fits all for them. But for your friend who had the message, we sometimes you have to say at this point, and I'm not trying to say to give up, but you should just take a step back. The setback will allow you to rejuvenate and stuff like that. But did you say adapt or learn or, do something different that you're currently not doing now that is the problem? Like what you said, she's pretty successful. So that success thing, she's successful in all aspects of her life, which may not be the case. I think she has to separate that and, while her past tragedies could be used as motivation, it could be used to try to readjust and really reevaluate to what's going on with you, not with the outside person, but with you. And then, the men that she attracts, I guess it's still the high school phase. She rather has a tingle than to really mingle and know the person, and from that aspect, she really has to start, what is best from inside, like what you said, from inside outward, because she has 2 children, right? She has 2 children, I said, right?
2 children from 2 different guys.
See, now that's going to shift her whole market value, her whole dating market value entirely. It's going to shift entirely. She's not going to get the outcomes that she wants. She's not going to get the people that she wants. She's going to attract the people that she's not going to need her, because they don't have their best intentions, because they're not really attracted to her, because she's already past the stages that, they're looking for or that they prefer. So for her, it's for that person, I just say, there's a person out there for you, but look at the person inward, see if it's something that, not only you yourself could also anticipate, but also your children as well, because they're going to be interacting with your children. So for her, it's really mostly for her, it's going to be an inward outward type of deal. For Jade, she was very attentive. I really appreciate that. She really took into heart what Kevin Samuel said, and I know that she will probably take a piece of his advice. She's just starting out. I really have high hopes. I really have good hopes for her. She didn't get too much into the moral part, and I think that really should have been done more for about her morality. What was it about her morality is different from other guys? It seems that she's very amicable and amiable, but it's just for the morality part. I think they should have touched on a little bit more. And for that, I really wish Kevin really just went towards that instead of just readjusting back to the talking points he's usually normal for. It would have been a good topic point for him to start over with. So I think that should have been a starting point, a starting talking point for him should have been that. And for the last woman, no situation is hopeless. We're not saying the situation is hopeless. It's just that if you really want the guy you want, you're really going to have to level up. And at age 30, it might be a little bit difficult because you have to compete with the younger women who are doing that right now at their stage in life. They're leveling up probably faster than you. So with her, I really do believe that, Kevin does have a point. An average man would be good for her, beneficial for her. They could make her stay, have some stability, stuff like that. And he'll be able to, fulfill the requirements. It's not 6 figures, but I know middle class men making 75, 80. I'm sure that is a very good point for her. And as they get older, they can expand, do something else. The whole point is not to be ready-made. And that's what these women are looking for, ready-made men. Sometimes it's not like that. You're going to have to do things together. You've got to go through difficult parts together. He's going to have to, hitch you on your back, and you might have to do that to the same to him. But if you're looking for a ready-made man, you're going to have to prove why he needs you if he's already ready-made.
And give that Jim a round of applause. Friend who I'm not naming, Jade and Ashley, Jim has dropped those gems on you. So for that, let's drop one of those clue bombs.
Fuck Master Flex, like.
So I hope you really think about this, ladies out there. I'm sure Jade, Ashley, and my friend is certainly not watching. I do wish her the best. She's a very lovely lady, and unfortunately, she just chooses wrong. And I know a lot of times when you have things in life, you think that the solution is to be with people who equally have as much. But here's the thing: when you have nothing, and the person has something, what do you expect from that person? The truth of the matter is the person has to endure whether you have or have not. Right. And sometimes that doesn't come with equal finances. And you have to learn in life, you make the best out of everything. So if you meet a guy who's making 80 and not 100,000, you don't disqualify him because he's making 20,000 less than your minimum threshold for relationship. You want somebody who's responsible, who's committed to being with you, to understand you as a person, to be able to support you in your need and you in his need. Those are the things that are really important. No cheating, no silliness, no disrespect. You want the person to cherish you and honor you and respect you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It is Jonathan St. James along with Jim. Wishing you all the best until next time, folks. We're out.
Take care, everyone.